Hey, video diary. So one of these nights would have been the last night I spoke to my son, the last time I spoke to my son. And he didn't die on the 18th, he died on the morning of the 19th of August. Not that it matters, but the last day he lived would have been the 18th. I spoke to him, I guess he died on that Thursday night, and I spoke to him on Tuesday, so 2 days before. And he was at his school, and he was telling me he had a strep throat, and that alarmed me, because that seemed strange. And we talked about girls, we talked about school, we talked about taking it easy, like not having to make a whole bunch of decisions, that he could figure things out, slowly, and pace himself for school. One more year. He was really excited about his teachers and his classes. So he said. My nephew came by, who resembles Forrest, and told me that he had seen Forrest high on heroin when my son went to attend this art school in California. That was a big deal, getting him into that school, because he was really excited. And then he got kicked out for buying weed. But when he got sent back to the city of San Francisco to be with my sister, evidently he scored heroin, and he used it. So, I mean, I that's when he was, 16 or something, 17, 16. I don't know. Too young. And depressing for me to think that he would do anything like that, but anyway, it's all too late. It may be the case that if you're addicted to heroin, that you'll never get out, that you're just going to have a shitty life and die. It is certainly the case with all of the people that I know, and 72,000 people last year. Forrest was one of those. So he's just a little stat, a little tick in that whole count. He's one of 72,000 for that year. What's it going to be this year, And I can't imagine that all those people didn't have really loving, supportive families that were going to the mat for these guys and gals. So what is it going to be? What are we going to do? Anything? Can anything be done? Or is it just like a matter of time? Was Forrest just a matter of time? Some of the people that I hear speak are angry that members of their families say things like, well, you're better off uh, but I know people think that. Of everybody who dies from drugs, because you instinctively know that the drama of endless rehabs and arrests and relapses and ODs and being a great person and relapsing, you know, it's like, it's painful. And frankly won't end well. Sucks for you junkies, you know. I'm sorry you got into it. If you can get out, then get out. However it is a person gets out, get out. And then for, you know, the 14 and 15-year-olds that think this is somehow cool, just look on YouTube. Just peck around and you will see how cool it is. How great that high is. Don't trust the people that lie to you. Just stay away from this shit. This bullshit. And I'm a person who took a lot of risks in my life because I like fun, you know. I did my share of drugs, but like I said, mostly things that don't kill you. Not mostly, exclusively things that don't kill you. In amounts that don't kill you. You know, this is weird, advocating responsible drug use. Or let's say chemical recreation. I'm not opposed to it, though. I don't do it anymore because, like I said, I don't see any answers. You know, or if it's just to have a mind-blowing time. You know, some of my mushroom experiences were profound. So I wouldn't have not wanted to have them. Although I'm not interested in having more, because I just don't. Nothing gets me higher than just being every day, playing the guitar, being a musician, feeling good. That gets me high. You know, going to my classes and being able to compete with people 30 years younger than me, you know. Just feeling good in my body, which is not an accident. It's the result of commitment, daily commitment over time, and education, and common sense. Shit. I said all these things to Forrest. And he still died from this. And my particular drama is unique to me, but there's so many similarities with other people's experiences. My daughter said it was unfair to call Forrest a junkie. My point was, if you're a smoker, you know, if you smoke, you're a smoker. There are certain things I think that if you do, that defines you. Smoking defines you. You can't go for 5 minutes without another cigarette thinking it's normal because they're legal and that other people do it, and you're just having some conversation, so somehow that makes it not smoking. But all you're doing is poisoning your lungs, your body, your blood, your brain, and somebody's making money every time you do it. Cha-ching. So it's a very foolish thing, and it defined me. When I smoked, it defined me. As much as I pretended it didn't. I get maybe that's it. Like if it's an addiction, maybe it's fair to say you're a junkie or you're a smoker or some other kind of drug addict. I don't even mean it as a pejorative. I mean it as a slice of reality. Because I think Forrest was unwilling to admit that it was out of his control, and that killed him. You know, that combination of secrecy, hubris, you know, lying to yourself, denial, deceit, and I don't know what else, like being addicted, just being addicted, like what that must do to a person. And I heard some testimonials, like on TED Talks, about what it's like to withdraw from opiates and how difficult it is and how depressed you get and all that, you know. It can't be worse than this. But I suppose it's really bad. And that person was because of an accident, and they were on pills, you know. Just the suicidal feelings, you know, all that shit. Hating yourself, whatever. Oh, but then I've talked to, you know, junkies that got off it, you know, that kicked it and said, I wanted to just live. Life was better than this bullshit. So I don't know. Who do I believe? And like I said, this is not my fight. This is not my cause. I'm not going to save a single junkie. If you're foolish enough to do this, you're foolish enough to die from it. You know, I can't help you. I did everything I could to help him. It didn't take me down the roads of some of these other people where they did, you know, 10 different rehabs and all that heartbreak. I feel so bad for those people. It's worse. It's worse than my situation. My son died with the memory of his dignified life, not his junkie life. But he died just as a junkie. So, you know, I'm just going to say, what's in it for you? You know, what the fuck is in it for you? Don't go back to it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you're okay with causing this level of distress and heartbreak. I think that's what it is, like heartbreak. I was blaming myself today. I always do it in the shower. I'm like, I wasn't watching him when he was 14 and 15 and 16. It's my fault. And then I went back in my memory to many things that I did that were highly engaging, and watching him and looking out, and I was like, wait, it isn't, yeah, it happened beneath my stupid radar, you know? And I guess everybody thinks, not my kid, and if your kid says, no, I'm fine, what are you talking about? I'd never do that, you know? You believe them. It was somebody's birthday in the jiu-jitsu school. I don't tell anybody there, but at least my going there is my tribute to Forrest. And I know that he would dig that. And I want to start a different kind of year this year. I don't know how. Now my years all start kind of from his death day, or this time. It's like I've been reborn, sort of, with a hollow inside. Somebody else said that. They said, like, I still look like me, but I'm gone inside because of this. And I thought about that more, and what happens is, like, when this happens to you, you realize that we're all going to die. So if you're pulling some bullshit, if you're fucking up, people like us look at you and go, "You're fucking dead. You're dead." And you just don't know it yet because we can see through your bullshit. And we don't think we know we can't save you. And that you are not trusted, not a trustworthy, agent because of your issue, drug addiction. So it's weird because it's like, and this extends to everybody. Like, I just don't want to hear people's excuses or their bullshit or their reasons why they can't get their life together, or they're afraid, or whatever their rationalizations are. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too tired, I'm too, lazy, I'm too, I don't know what it is, but when you see that dead body, you realize that all you have to express yourself is time. And if you waste your time with your mental, gerbil wheel, and limit yourself either through drugs, alcohol, bad habits, toxic environments, whatever it is, if you're able to get out of those things, then it's really on you. And some people say they can't get out of it, but they just don't get out of it. If you're an adult, you can get out of it. If you're a child, that's different. Then you're truly, you're stuck for a while. That's what I talked about yesterday. Like, I put my head down just to get through some of the bullshit of my childhood, the abuse. You just sort of go into a shell. Yeah. I'm going to spend most of the time this next few days alone and working. And that will feel honest to who I am. I'll train and practice, but I'm going to work on my house.